Okay, I believe it's day 4. I don't know. Like I said, I only work on this maybe 4 hours a day or so, but we got the floor pans all welded in, filled in a bunch of other holes that were there. Of course, we left the seatbelt holes. We wire wheeled everything down. I still gotta wipe everything down, and then we are gonna put seam sealer around the welds, and then we will paint everything, and then we have kill mat coming, and then we'll kill mat the whole floor, so that'll really lock it together and quiet it up. But we got a couple little things here and there that I gotta address before I do some more, but we'll take care of it. The welds are okay. They're definitely burnt in. They're not the prettiest. Like I said, I did find I can definitely weld better with the reading glasses on. So we'll remember that when we start doing these quarter pound. The quarter pound is a little more critical because we will butt weld them. Got to get rid of this bullet hole. We got to bang that out and then probably weld that in and fill it. We'll cut that out. We'll cut all this out. So that'll be a different project though. One project at a time. Probably after this, I'll probably do some more work on the house. I still have lots of spackling and paint to do there, but we'll jump back and forth. That way it keeps it not too tedious, but definitely takes a good amount of time though. I mean, I probably have 12 hours tied up into the floor pans, and I mean, I've done a lot of other little things too, taking stuff apart and welding in little holes, but it definitely takes time. You know, people wonder why restoration costs so much, and this isn't a concourse restoration by any means, but still takes a lot of time. So all right, we will get everything cleaned up and seam sealed in, and we'll show you that. All right, all seam sealed in. I ran out of the white, had to use some other black stuff that I had. It's all urethane, so it doesn't matter. Give it a couple hours to dry, and well, we might actually let it dry overnight. And then we're going to paint all this, and we're just going to do it with probably a brush and a roller. It's going to be satin Rust-Oleum black, which is very, very close to the factory black that the GMs use. Actually, that's usually what I use on my firewalls and everything, because it's about a quarter of the price as GM satin black, and it holds really good. So we'll get this, let this dry, get it all painted up. Still have to, underneath the car where the seams are for the floor pans, still have to get under there, seal all them. Gonna have to do a little banging and a little tweaking to get the joints tighter, and then use less seam sealer, plus it'll be stronger that way. But everything's welded in, everything's seam sealed. Gotta wipe it down one more time before we paint, and then we'll put some paint on it. And like I said, once we pull the motor and trans out, we'll be able to get the cross member out, the transmission out, and all that, and get under there and put some seam sealer and some little bit of paint, and probably just use undercoating where the because the car was undercoated. So I'm not going to attempt to take all the undercoating out. That's just way too much work. All right, we'll see you on the next update. So we got the floor all seam sealed in, and we got a coat of paint on it. It's not the prettiest. We just brushed it and rolled it. It's satin Rust-Oleum black. Put a little primer on the bare metal, but everything, it laid out well. So everything is sealed up, and we let it dry overnight. Left the heater on. It is 68 degrees in here, so nice and comfy. But that's about it for the floor pan here, I think. And our kill mat will be here next week after the holidays, and then we're going to put kill mat over everything, and that'll quiet some stuff up, especially around the trunk area. And we'll get that down, and we'll show you when we're putting that down. I know that can be a tedious process, but I think it's worth it. All in all, they came out pretty well. They're definitely solid, that's for sure. They were burnt in good and hot, and then we sealed them. I still have to get underneath and seal up the underneath. I'll do that when I pull the transmission out. It's going to be easier with the cross member and the transmission. So once I pull the motor and trans, we'll get under there, do a little hammer and dollying, some seam sealer, then some undercoating on that, and it'll be good as new. So just a quick update. That's probably pretty much it for the floor pans other than the kill mat. And then next project is we are going to start on this quarter panel because it's right in front of the heater. So it'll be good time to do that. Okay, we're back. The GoPro rudely cut me off halfway in between talking. But anyway, like I was saying, it appears this was done 10 plus years ago. It was stripped down to bare metal, I believe, epoxy primed and then primer sealed. So stripped it all down, found out where we got to cut. Probably do like this, like that, and then a section here. We have these quarter panel skins. They're not the greatest shape, but they'll be fine because the last car I did, I fabricated everything from hand, which was a lot of work, but at least here, you know, they're not rotted through, of course. They're not in the greatest shape, but they're a good, make a great patch panel because all I'm going to do is cut them up. So on the other side, I might have to do a little more. It's got more, the actual patch panel rotted out on the other side. But I did a little spot here on the door. It doesn't appear, I don't see any of the original blue paint. That's the original blue. It's Viking blue, I believe, like our last blue one. But we'll work on that quarter, get everything. We'll get this banged out. The bullet hole, got to bang that out. I'll have to get some filler on it. I'll try to weld that in. Try to use as little filler as possible, but no matter what, you're going to use filler. When you redo stuff, you have to use filler. There's no ifs, ands, buts. These Barrett-Jackson cars you see, unless they're all original, they have filler in them. Even factory panels, because it's the only way you can get them straight is filler them and block them. So, all right, we'll pick you up once we get things cut out. We'll show you the process. Get this stuff cut out and then cut pieces out of our patch panel, and then we'll start butt welding in. So we got this rough cut. This is what we're cutting out. We got it cut. I got this new wheel, saw it online. I'm not crazy about it. It cuts kind of too wide of a swath. The kerf of it's kind of wide. I guess it does last longer, but you know, the throwaway discs cut a nicer, like this kind of heats it up too much. So I'll probably go back to the throwaways. I don't know. But now what we got to do is we got to peel this out of here. We have to grind all these spot welds out. And once we get everything out, we will cut that panel into our exact pieces. Got to try to even this out. It's just, I don't know, a little bit of a struggle fest this morning. I had a buddy ask me a couple days ago, came over and said, I don't know how you do all this work and stay so clean. And I said, well, I don't. I'm so anal that I clean up every little bit I do. I ended up blowing things out, sweeping up, and I should just, it would save time if I just did all the work and then cleaned up. But I just hate being messy and hate having stuff everywhere. But that is part of it when you're doing this, especially in a small garage. So like I said, just a quick update. We will get all this chiseled out and taken out and get the pieces cut in, and I will show you once the pieces are rough fit. So we got that all cut out. I ended up cutting out more. I was going to do two separate pieces, but it really doesn't make any sense. It is rough cut, but I also did, this had a little bit of pitting on it. So I ground it down, wire brushed it, and I put some Ospo on it to stop the rust. That'll be all urethane seam sealer anyway. So we got all the rust cut out. Didn't find Bondo anywhere else, which is good. And we got the patch panel laid out here. And what I'm going to do, this is everything I cut out. I'm just going to cut a bigger piece out And then what I'll do is I'll fit it to that. And like I said, we'll keep this quarter for, you know, this metal is good metal for patching and stuff, but it's a very cheap overlay, that's for sure, but it'd be good for patch panels. So we'll get that laid out, we'll get it cut, and we'll get all this traced out, cut to that. Those metal cutting wheels I don't like them. They make too much heat. I found 2 more that I had, so we'll end up using them to cut the panel. I have 25 more coming, but they're not coming until next Friday because of the holiday. But so we'll give you an update as soon as we get this all cut out and get it laid in there, and once we get it mocked up, we will show you.